Hi, welcome to my channel Cerberus Sticky Notes. Here we are going to look into those points which we thought simple but they are powerful too. Let's start our journey together. Let's move on to today's topic. So, looking into the thumbnail today, you might have got a question in your mind, right? How this 2 in 1? What is this 2 in 1 inside a tutorial channel, right? For the answer or to crack the answer, you need to watch this video till the end. Now, let's move on to the scenario. So, currently, the scenario what we are seeing is we are having an HTML page which we have created in normal Notepad++ when opened through a file explorer in the browser. It will be a normal or it will be the same content as a web page. Okay, so it can be directly opened. That is one case for HTML, and the next is Java, where we have written all our backend services. This is the current scenario where we are running both the cases separately. So HTML, you are going to the file explorer and then running the page, and coming to the Java side, then starting the application, and then the Java services are running in different port. This is the current scenario. So, is there any particular scenario where we can use a single jar which includes both the HTML and Java inside the single one? Can we have such a technique inside Spring Boot so that both the application, both the side means UI and the backend services can be handled inside the single application? Can we have that using any techniques, or is there any method for that? Yes, we have a method, and regarding that we are going to discuss today. So let's move on to that. So regarding Thymeleaf, before starting the implementation of Thymeleaf, let's understand the basic concept of what is Thymeleaf and why it is used. Okay, Thymeleaf, it is a Java template engine for both web and standalone environment at the server side. Okay, so it is a server side Java template engine for both standalone and web environments. Okay, now what is the main goal for any application or any technique? There should be a goal, right? So for Thymeleaf, the goal is to provide a very elegant and highly maintainable or manageable way to create the templates. Okay, now the third and the most interesting point is Thymeleaf. It is created in a concept that or it aims to completely substitute the JSP, the Java Server Pages. It aims on completely substituting the Java Server Pages and implements the concept of natural templates. Now, you might have got a question in your mind. What is this natural template is? Okay, natural templates are those files that can be directly opened in a browser and that still display as a web pages. Okay, so it is a file that can be opened directly in a browser. Okay, but still it works or it happens or it coming as a correct web page. Okay, now let's move on to the implementation requirements and how we can implement on this. Okay, let's move on to that. So the implementation requirements for the theme leaf. The first and the main implementation requirement is adding the dependency in pom.xml file. You know, in Java application, all the dependencies that is related to the application is added inside the pom.xml file, right? Now, we can add the simple dependency of Spring Boot starter theme leaf dependency. Okay, you can add the dependency. The artifact ID is Spring Boot starter theme leaf inside the pom.xml. These are the 4 lines and some properties inside the properties file and the pages, and you can call those pages. Only these 4 steps you need to follow, then your page will be ready. As we have discussed the what is theme leaf, what are the requirements to implement that. Now it's the time to crack the answer. Now let's move on to the implementation part. We have discussed regarding the implementation requirements for ThemeLeaf. Now let's go to the Spring Boot coding part and see how we can add those requirements inside the Spring Boot code. In that, the first point that we have discussed is the ThemeLeaf dependency. Let's add the ThemeLeaf dependency now. So inside this group ID, as the group ID is org.springframework.boot, let's copy this and paste it over here. And now artifact ID. The artifact ID is spring hyphen boot hyphen starter, okay, hyphen themeleaf or timeleaf. Okay, you can pronounce it in both ways, themeleaf or timeleaf. Okay, now let's save this code. Now let's go to the next step. Next, the change that we need to do is inside the properties file, the application.properties file. So I have just opened the application.properties file here, and let me change some, or let me add some properties to work with the spring theme leaf. Okay, so the first is spring dot theme leaf cache, it should be false. So theme leaf caching, whether we need to enable it, no, we don't need to enable that, so it is false. So next is spring dot theme leaf enabled. Okay, so the enabled means to view theme leaf view resolution for the web frameworks, whether we need to enable that. Yes, we need to enable those. Okay, so enabled, it is true. Okay, now the next is spring dot theme leaf, the prefix one. Okay, where you will provide the templates path. Okay, so I'm providing the template path over here. Class path colon static, sorry, class path colon static slash views slash. Okay, now the next one, spring dot theme leaf dot suffix. Okay, is dot html. Okay, let's say this code. So whatever the templates you are adding, it should be inside this path, so that all the templates will be taken from this path. Okay, now this path is mentioned over. When you see the project explorer here, you can see inside that resources folder we are having static. Inside static we are having views, then next inside that you are having the template with .html file. Okay, now let's open that HTML file. In this, let's add some HTML code. Okay, let's add some HTML code here. So here the first one is doc type. Okay, inside that HTML, then HTML. Okay, inside this body. Okay, sorry, the body need to be this. So body, then inside this header. Okay, hello all, welcome to my channel. Okay, I just added a header text, then a paragraph. Okay, then a paragraph. Inside that add some text, whatever the text. So I am just adding drop a like if you like it. Okay, so I'm adding that also. So let's save this code inside the HTML. Okay, now let's move on to the next part. Now we have added the properties changes, the HTML, we have added some content, and the form.xml dependency we have added. The next is adding the controller. Okay, for the page to view or to control the page or the template, we need to have some controller class. So we have created a controller class. Let's add the URL handling for each template. So I am only having one HTML page. So I am just adding one URL request, URL controller or URL calling inside this controller. Okay, only one URL calling. So request, when you put request and put control space, you will have the option request mapping, and inside this add slash data. Okay, you can name any mapping here. Okay, this data can be home, this data can be fetch, this data can be hi, anything. Okay, so this is a URL for calling the templates. Now let's call the template here. So public string, any method name, I just give home. Okay, now inside this I'm just calling what, return double quotes semicolon. Clear? Now I have put the double quotes as empty over here. Okay, that is why, because I need to add some points how it is working, so that you will be more clear. So when I call this URL inside the browser, what it will happen is it will go to this particular page, or template, whatever the name you have given here. Okay, so when I call slash data localhost, whatever the port it is slash data, then it will come over here and return the response as a HTML page. Okay, so when I provide the HTML page name over here, okay, so I just provided return homepage. So homepage.html is my file name or template name, and that file name without extension, just name you can provide it there. Okay, so when I call this, it will return the response as HTML page of this content. Whatever the content over that HTML page, that content will be displayed in the inside the browser. Clear? That is the only thing that we need to add in the controller. So if you are having one more thing, okay, so if you are having one more HTML page, just copy this, paste this, and change the URL to fetch, and change the this one to home fetch. Okay, and change this to any page home or something. Okay, if you are having one more, so currently we are only having one HTML template, so we don't need to add that. So just save this. Now let's run this application and see the output. So let's run this application. So the application is loading. So I'm just expanding the console here. Okay, now in this console you can see the application is started. Okay, started Cerberus squad demo. Okay, so we have started the application. Now what it is happening is we are not having any warning or something like that. Okay, no error is there, so we are good to view the application or run the application. Now let's go and see the final output. So we have come to the conclusion to get the output or see how the output will look like. Okay, now what we need to do is do the controller calling. Okay, so localhost colon 8055 slash, okay, whatever the controller you have provided here, the controller name is data here, right? So let's call the data over there. Okay, so data. Okay, now click on enter and see the HTML content you are getting as the output. Okay, so if you have created the same HTML content inside the notepad plus plus and save it in the file explorer, you will get the same output. Okay, so we have got the output HTML content, and also we have called the service inside the Java application only. Okay, so inside this Java application we can have multiple services, we can have the controller, and we can call this mapping wherever we need inside the service or inside the HTML page, so that this will redirect it to, or this will call this particular template. Clear? Now we have come to the conclusion. Okay, so let's conclude for today's session by summarizing all the points we have discussed. Okay,